Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'm honored to be standing here in front of you, and I appreciate you giving me the chance to be able to share a bit of my Johnson experience with you. For those of you who are wondering who I am, I'm Natalia. I'm in the one-year program, which means I'll be graduating with a class of 2017, but it also means I've only had about 8 months to share with you. So I'm really honored to be able to stand here in front of you today. A bit of background about myself. I'm from Colombia, as some of you may know. I'm the youngest of 5 daughters. And before coming here, I was working at my family business. I'm an industrial engineer, which back home basically means I'm a business major that knows a bit of math and took some physics classes at some point. So before coming here, I was the general manager. And sometimes people ask me why I chose the one-year program. And I've given a lot of answers as the year has gone by. And the truth of it all is this. So I wanted to come and get my MBA, but I also had a responsibility to my business. My father is 72 years old, and before I came here, I was a general manager. He was ready to retire. So I sat down with him and I said, look, I want to do an MBA. And he said, if it's longer than 1 year, I'm not going to be here when you come back, so you might as well just make that decision now. Also, I was in a long-term relationship with a person I thought I was going to marry. So he also said the same thing. I'm not going to wait for you. So I decided to come here. And being able to do a REDtalk actually has a special meaning for me because it was one of the first experiences I had even before I was a student. When I came for Accelerate Johnson back in March last year, Accelerate Johnson is the DJ for the AMBAs. So it was like 10 of us here that weekend. So as you can imagine, we had like free time in our schedule, and it's supposed to be the time when you bond with your classmates and talk to people. And obviously, I was sitting in the atrium by myself. And then suddenly, a friend of mine, Herman, who was a first year, just grabbed me and said, you know, come upstairs, we're going to see Akshay do a REDtalk. And I was like, okay, wait, so who is Akshay and what is a REDtalk? He obviously looked at me in an exasperated way and said, don't ask questions, just come here. So we came up here. And I remember I sat down in that corner. There was a sofa right there. And I just stood like viewing all of this. And he started talking about entrepreneurship and about his future in finance and about like all his experiences he had had as an MBA student. And I just sat there and I was like, wow, like this guy has so much confidence. He speaks so well. If I can do that in 1 year, if I can be like that in 1 year and have that confidence to stand there, like it's all going to be worth it. So coming back to forwarded one year from now, I'm honored to be able to share with you a bit of my Johnson experience. Okay, so Johnson takes really seriously the accelerated part of the accelerated MBA. It goes out really fast. We come here in the summer, so I came here in the summer, and we have exams every 2 weeks. Every week we have a midterm, every 2 weeks we have a final. And then it's over. And then we come back in August, and by that time I was starting to doubt coming back to my family business, so I went to the whole consulting recruiting process. So that meant like 8 weeks, and it was over. By the time winter came, I had not done anything else but recruit, and I only had 6 months left. And to top it out of that, I came back after winter break. I wasn't going back to my family business like I planned. I had broken up with the person I was supposed to marry. So I said, well, you already threw it all out the window, so you might as well just make this count and just make the best out of this experience. So, and I tried to do that. I came back in February. I was taking 24 credits. I was on the board of 3 clubs, 2 clubs and BRB. I signed up for hockey team, women's hockey team. I was on the committee of Cornell, and I was organizing the Columbia Trek. And I was excited. I said, this is the most efficient way to spend my 3 last years and have that second year life. But what I didn't realize at the moment was that I was also exceeding what I could do with my time. And I was also starting to get sick. And it took me 2 months to realize what it was doing to me and how signing up for everything and saying yes to everything was affecting me. And it's hard because when you're in the MBA, it's like it's like being on Facebook all the time, like social media. You always have to put your best foot forward. Like nobody puts a sad photo on Facebook. Nobody puts on when they fight with their boyfriends. Nobody puts on when they get shut down at a consulting interview. We only put on the happy things. And that's what happens here. You always try to look good. You always try to seem like you're handling it. And I completely fell for it. And the more people told me, I don't know how you handle this. I don't know how you do it. The more I said to myself, you have to do this. You can do it, and you're an MBA student, and you're going to kill this. So it took me a while, but I finally realized that I needed to get help. And my friends were not going to be the ones who were going to give me that help because they were in this bubble as well. So you just don't wake up one day and say, I'm going to get professional help because I can't handle my life. So I did what I thought was the best way. I took out an appointment at Gannett for nutritional consultation. And I went there. And they do all of these interviews. They make you fill out all these forms. And then you start talking to the person in front of you. And they start asking all these questions. And she could see right through me. Like she could see that the reason I was there was not just to get like some blood test or things just to make sure I was fine. She could see that I wanted to talk about something else, but I just didn't have the guts to say to her face. Fortunately, they're professionals. They knew that. And she referred me to somebody else, who referred me to somebody else, who referred me to somebody else. And before I knew it, I was going to Gannett services every week. I've known like every person, every floor that there is to know in that building. And it really helped. It helped to get someone else's perspective. Because sometimes we're immersed in this bubble. And this is not the real world. Not everybody is perfect. And not everybody has their things together, all the time. And it was after she started walking through what I was doing, it just seemed so clear. Like she could see exactly what was wrong. And it wasn't before she started telling me, like, you're doing this, why don't you this, that I realized the error I was in. I was just so stuck in trying to get everything together, trying to enjoy it, trying to make it count, that I stopped taking care of myself. And I think that we have, caring like self-care week and everything, and that's one of the things that MBA students like don't take advantage of, but it's one of the most important things. And as I look forward in my career, I'm going to go into a job where people will take everything they can from you. And if I'm not the one that tells them, you can't have that because I need this to be good with myself and to be healthy, nobody's going to do that for me. Just like nobody did that for me here. Because everybody was so in their lives that you just don't realize what everyone's going through. So I guess my biggest takeaway here is that it's okay to say no to things. And it's okay to be able to skip on things, because if it's going to make you feel better, if it's going to make you enjoy the things that you do say yes to, then you'll just have a more fulfilling life. And I guess my advice for the first years who are here is nobody's perfect. And everybody has a story. Everybody has their own internal struggle. So never fall for that facade that we all carry with us. Thank you.